Welcome, one and all, blessed Brava babies. We've got a real lit live happening right now. We only get on a live when it's lit. That's the new rules. Okay, cuties? If it's a dead stream, it's not a live stream. Today we are bringing in the Peace Dealer. If you don't know, you will know in about 30 fucking seconds when he opens his fucking mouth. He is an astrologer. He's also just like a lit leader of tomorrow. Yeah, let's name that. As Shaman Jurek would have us. Mahalo! Oh, look at that, Ray.
How you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so much better now that you've graced us with your divine presence.
Thank you.
So we're gonna get right the fuck into it. I was just letting the people know that you're an astrologer. You're also a lit leader of tomorrow, and we're gonna talk about building our avatars for fucking tomorrow. So, cutie, just to like intro for those who don't know, who should know, who will know in like 5 fucking seconds. When you became the Peace Dealer, tell me about what changed when you named yourself the Peace Dealer.
What changed? That's a really good question. I would say right off the bat, it activated a sense of purpose with me. I'm not just kind of wandering aimlessly now. I'm focused on a mission or a task, and I love that you asked that because at the time I never really thought of that. I just kind of just went with it and proceeded to wing everything. But yeah, I would say that like definitely activates, lets me know it's time.
I love that that right now it's landing like it has been this centralizing, activating like mission. But when it came to you, it sounded like you weren't aware of that yet. It almost evolved. So talk to us about that process. Like, how did it come to you? Was it sort of like casual? Like, and then how has it evolved?
Right. Shout out to Avery Crane. So that's one thing about this process that um solidified undoubtedly that I didn't do this alone, right? So like this definitely was inspired by spirit. I remember like a good 2.5 years later from me coming up with the name, which I came up with it in Kansas, Gardner, Kansas, while I was going to KU, because at the time my uncle convinced me to delete my first YouTube channel. And he was saying that like, oh yeah, you don't need to do astrology, just get your degree and then I'll bring you to Nigeria and then I'll initiate you in our fraternity or whatever. So crazy stuff. He's Aquarius.
Oh my god, I love it. I love how it's like, oh yeah, just take like this very easy path of like just moving to Nigeria and like become initiated. Like that's a simpler route. But people always have a plan, right? They always have a plan for you.
Yeah. And I mean, I had at the time just like, okay, I deleted my original channel, which was Clear Sight. Um, that was my original brand at the time. And so 2.5 years later from when I came up with the Peace Dealer, there was this amazing website called paulsadowski.org. Shout out to William Marys. He put me onto that site, and you enter your name, and it will tell you the numerology of your name. Like it'll tell you the soul number, the expression number. Um, I think you can also enter a birth date, and it'll tell you some stuff too. So I had typed in the Peace Dealer. This is like 2.5 years after I came up with the name, and or give or take 2 or so years, and my life path number is 9, right? So like all the numbers in the name were 999. Like it was the only name, right, that came out with the same numbers and all that. And that's what made me remember that I never came up with this name. Like this name literally just came to me. And at the time I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, okay, that sounds really cool. Like I didn't really feel like, oh, this is the image that I want to represent. Like I wanna be a dealer of peace. I wanna spread peace to everyone. It just came to me. It was just like the Peace Dealer. I was like, okay, let's do it. And I felt that it was cool, but you know,
Yeah, I will just reflect back to you that like it so mirrors what you give out, which is like both peace, love, like good fucking energy, but also like, it's called like the daily tarot trigger. Like you're like, hey, I'm gonna fucking trigger you. Like I'm gonna like give this to you hard.
and
So I feel like it really does encapsulate like what you're serving right now.
Appreciate you. Yeah, the only thing that I get frustrated with is when people think that because I call myself the peace dealer that I have to be all peace, love, and harmony and rainbows and gumdrops, and that's not the type of peace I deal. But it is
And
what it
let's
is.
talk about that, because I've heard you make that distinction, and I certainly would attest that, like, you're not fucking all rainbows and butterflies. Like, you're just, I would say you're very real and with your truth, and you're fucking bold about it, which I feel like comes partly probably from having this, like, this alter ego in a sense, like this avatar where you can be like so forthright with how you feel and challenge people. So when you think about peace and the way you deliver it, what does peace mean to you?
Thank you. That's a really great question, and thank you for everything you said. So, I mean, peace to me is the silence that comes after you're dead. Like after death, where there's no more chaos. It's just literally silence. That's true peace. The peace that we have here is the complete.
Oh no, you're breaking up. This is so good. We'll find each other. Okay, patience, Brava babies. We'll find our service again. I promise. I know this to be true. Patience, my darlings. We're just getting our service back. All right, cuties. All right, here he is. He's back. Yay. Okay. Oh my God, what a time to drop off, too. That was amazing. It is. It's the
Right.
My darling, though, it was kind of perfect timing. You spoke about, you were just in the middle of saying that the piece that you speak about is the silence after death, after identity is gone. What a journey through technology. But also, I was just speaking of the fact that, like, how insulting of Amazon to, like, the day after Indigenous Peoples Day and Coming Out Day. Today is supposedly Amazon Prime Day. Like, they named that. We made it. We're back.
All right.
Are you, what is
Yeah.
this, a walking stick? What, are you holding a talking stick or a walking stick? Is it a didgeridoo?
What happened?
What is it?
It is a stick.
Oh, I love it.
It's my hermit stick.
The hermit. Do you relate to the hermit?
Yeah. It's my tarot birth card. No, it's been calling out to me more than ever these days.
I get it. I mean, also rolling with the times. It's quite the time to be a hermit.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy because I mean, I've been social distancing before it was a thing, but like
Ahead of your time.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, to finish answering your question, yeah, peace. Oh yeah, the peace we have is very much so an illusion. We know this because like anyone can roll up in a gated neighborhood or a movie with a semi-automatic and weapon and get to blasting. So, but even within the illusory nature of peace, the peace that you can still gain in a place like this. Shout out to Susanna, long time. It's always sparked whenever you resonate with the frequency of truth. Truth is definitely very Truth is the experience of truth is the understanding of the experience of peace, and peace is very much so an experience that's felt. It's a very holistic Piscean vibration, and whenever you gain clarity that aligns you with the truth, this releases stress and anxiety, and it induces peace. So, people think that a lot of people like to think of peace as like feel good, like as long as I'm not triggered, if you're saying everything that I like to hear, and if you're saying something that challenges my beliefs and makes me question, what I think, then people think it's no longer peaceful.
Had this, like, I've been having some nightmares because, I think like, oh, I'm so brave. And then my nightmares show me that I'm actually I am triggered. We're all triggered, right? If we're not triggered, we're not paying attention. It's intense times. But in my dream, like I had this dream that it was like apocalypse and there was planes crashing and masked men like shooting people. And I woke up and I sat down to write about it and just like decompress from like what I had just experienced. And I was like, oh, you could just sit in that and be in peace. Like like that's the fucking truth. And I think that like what you're speaking of is so real. Like that the inside, that depth of that place inside us that cannot be touched, that is literally untouchable,
Right.
that is eternal.
Yeah.
If we are more connected to that and that is more real than anything else, which it is,
It is.
then what
Yeah.
can touch us? Then what can we be afraid of? And then it's all a ride.
You nailed it. You took the words right out of my mouth. In fact, you said it better than I was gonna say it, because like I want to touch on the whole soul aspect, because like that's like the kingdom of heaven. You know, selling all your possessions so that you can fully tap into that part within you. And I love how you said it, because once again, like I was gonna use the analogy of taking a medicine treatment that is painful. Anytime you take the medicine, it makes your body creak. You know, people think peace is like giving someone orange soda or orange juice, and they drink it, and it's just like they feel so good and have peace. But peace is really more like taking a medicine that fucks your body up, and you feel like horrible. You feel all that darkness or negativity purging,
Yeah.
but then after the purge, you're left with, you know, that clearness. Or even better, like even while your body is purging that negativity, just sitting in that stillness and connecting with the only part of you that exists is peace. Part of
I
you
love
that
it. And I think that's why we find our spiritual awakenings, or whatever you call it, even if you don't associate with spirituality, it's like we find that in pain because we have to go below it, like below sensation. And I also feel like there's something about like when you're having, you know, like your treat that feels nice and is comforting, there's also the awareness that that can be taken away or it's going to be over. Like think of like a kid who has their ice cream. They're like, I'm happy now, but it's going to be gone soon, and then I'll be upset. And there's already suffering in that dynamic.
right. It's like it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay. Also, okay. So, Cutie, I want to talk to you about the idea of what this has liberated in you. So it's actually really curious. I love that we're talking about this because I was thinking about the idea of as we start to dissolve our identities, we actually have more freedom, right? To like build a fucking brand or like be a fucking person, because we know it's all a fucking game anyway. So what do you feel like your avatar for like the collective, like let's use that analogy of like the avatar that you're like stepping fully into, like who do you see yourself being and becoming for this new world that is showing up right now?
That's amazing. I think I want to make sure I heard you right. You were saying, what do I think I'm the avatar of?
Yeah, like what avatar are you like birthing yourself into, becoming slash are evolving into, all that? Like what is that?
That's what's up. So, yeah, I think that's a great question to ask and start from whenever anyone is like confused about who they are, what they are. That's the first thing to ground. Like, what are you representing? And I've come to realize that I'm an avatar of the universe. Like the elements comprise the element of air, especially, and the word made flesh. I feel like I'm here to lead by example instead of like lord myself over people and be like, you need to get right.
Yes.
Let me instead relate and just indirectly or directly show you how it's done while still on.
I love it. Okay, when you think about like, you know, that peace can feel like a hard pill to swallow. Peace can be that medicine that doesn't feel good. What's something that you are boldly, like unapologetically delivering that maybe people don't want to hear or feel?
That's a really good question. I would say I don't want to be too vague with this, but one thing that I've noticed consistently that people really don't want to hear, it's not the politics and all the, you know, I know I've been speaking about, you know, Donald Trump and all that, but the reason why some people either hate or love, but really the reason why some people don't like when I bring that up, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has everything to do with truth. it's easy for me to understand what's happening to like President Trump, and I don't want to make this too much about him, but you know, as a Gemini man, I've seen the world react to him in near similar ways that they react to Gemini men and women and women. For example, Azalea Banks, whenever I mean, she's definitely, you know, she definitely has her way with her words, but it's very easy for people to throw her under the bus and just say, oh, she has a mental illness or mental issues when she was really just truth blasting people. And, you know, people can't handle that. So, you know, the one thing that consistently I unapologetically will champion and speak on is the existence of I was gonna say the existence of aliens, but more realistically, the presence and reality of your superpowers and your abilities and your alter ego.
I love.
You can mention that. Thank you. You can, and the reason why I'm so adamant about this is because on this journey, you know, I've come to really learn namaste, like the God in me recognizes a God in you, and I've really just seen everybody in the closet with their abilities, and it's just like a weird feeling. It's not like trying to prove that it's real. It's like, when are y'all all gonna come out the closet and share?
And I love it too, because it's like the real true closet we don't realize we're in. It's like once you realize you're in a closet, then it's just courage, right? Then it's just like taking the fucking move. But really, it's recognizing what we have disowned in ourselves without even knowing it. Like at the age of 5, when we were like, it's, you know, you're crazy for having this visualization or something, and like that's not real.
When the whole ironic part is, it doesn't even have to be real, because especially as a child, you should be able to exercise your imagination. And a lot of how we harness our abilities is through our imagination. So since a child, we're taught to suppress our imaginative function if it's not real, when it doesn't even have to be real. Like, our minds should just be allowed to create, expand, and then, you know, balance with the other literal side. Well said, though.
I mean, I spent a week with a 6-year-old who happens to be my nephew, who's the greatest kid on the planet, obviously, because he's my nephew. And he would reveal things to me about the way his mind worked that he wanted me to not tell anybody. And I thought, like, it was so special, but I also felt like at 6, he already knows to not tell people about these, like, magical ways that he does life.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah, the fact that it had to be a secret, though, right? I'm like, wow, he's already gotten that lesson. Like, how? But he has.
Yeah.
So if you could say that, okay, we've already heard the Hermit. What other, like, energies do you feel like you channel or are a vehicle for, like, coming through you?
Definitely the Magician. I've come to really, like, own that archetype, but really, like, embrace it. And I'm coming to accept more the Hierophant and the Emperor, because I really love the Fool. I just really love being the Divine Fool. And it's something that I'll never really, you know, I'll always keep with me. But now that I've finished my Saturn return, I'm 30, like, I'm having to and ready to embrace the Emperor, the Hierophant, really kind of structure, strategize, gather my focus, and harness my power for real. Especially
I
with
love
the world.
that. It's almost like it feels like 30s are like the builder years. It's like you have to build your platform to, like, expand and explode and be free, but like the building of it is like now, it feels like.
And I'll say too, like, stepping into my power, like when I become the Emperor and own up and accept the Magician, I start to attract the Empress and the High Priestess. Start to come out. Then I dip into the Fool, and then it goes away. But then I sit back, and then it comes back. So,
well, it's like you're speaking of almost like multiple lifespans right now. Do you have a connection with past life? And I don't even think it's past. I think it's simultaneous.
Right.
Do you have a connection with, like, simultaneous lives at the moment that feels? Yeah.
You're amazing, by the way, because, like, for some reason, like, the other day, it just kind of came to me. It was like something that was wanting me to accept, like, if you're a magician, you have to accept that, you know, the past and the future is happening simultaneously right now. Like, your third dimensional awareness will experience it linearly, but the fact that any human being can gain visions of the future or feel what's going to happen is they're only feeling it because it's happening. So, which is really hard to accept. It took me a while to really accept that. But yeah, I love what you are asking because I've believed in past lives, but still have been skeptical of past lives.
Yeah.
But it's smacking me in the face. Like I'm starting to meet archetypal energies in people that directly represent this, and now make me accept that. Damn, I really did have past lives with certain individuals, and I'm thank you once again for asking that because that's really been the main focus of also accepting my alter ego, the memories and the power that are in the past life to unlock and restore.
Mm, that's so good. And it almost is, it's like just what you said about imagination. It's like not letting a beat go by without with not dishonoring our experience. Like if we're in a meditation or a dream and an image comes, like it's all it takes is really that extra moment to be like, there's something there, like there is something there, rather than dismissing it as, oh, that's just my imagination, it's just an image, it's just a feeling. There's no just.
Right, right. That's what I've done my whole life. Like this has really helped me embrace channeling too. Like I haven't realized how much the information just channels through me because um and I think just like this is happening to me, this may happen to, this is why Sagittarians are so dope, so true. Just like this happens to me, it might happen to like everyone else watching, but like, I think also the way we've been conditioned, but I mean, I've suppressed my power. I've just suppressed myself every day unconsciously. I'm, I'm learning to kind of like let the energy more out freely, I guess.
I love it. It's like
Yeah.
no turning down. I've had that experience during social isolation. Like the beauty of like not having to turn it down. Like, and
Yeah.
you talked about this too, like that little stink eye being the devil. Like that's demonic when someone is like basically telling you to turn down your light. And I just stopped turning it down, and like life has gotten so much better. People who are not aligned have disappeared. People who are aligned have like shown up as like best friends. Like it really is such letting yourself ride yourself
Yeah.
without telling
Yeah.
yourself to stop.
Right, like I'm sorry I'm dope, but I'm not gonna apologize for being great. Basically.
Oh, dude, and that is a thing right now too. I feel like it's the taboo of 2020 is feeling good, feeling yourself, loving life no matter what the fuck circumstances are happening. That is the greatest taboo.
And people are allowed to think, others are weird. Like people are allowed to look at me and think I'm weird. Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, how dare you put that face. But it's also my decision how I react to it. It's my karma how I respond to it. I'm not gonna see that and like give a fuck. I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna be like, ha.
Yes. And we've got better, and we've got like it really is. I love peace as death of identity because it really is that ego death to be like, fucking come at me, fucking hate me. It's not my agenda. I'm like riding this thing. Like I'm discovering what I'm here to do. And the only way I'll do that is by like affirming what's happening.
True that. Very true.
Oof, I love it so much. Okay, so in your next incarnation, if you could be a love child of like any like angels, gods, archetypes, like what would you desire to be in your next incarnation?
That's so interesting. Oh, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be my North Node's Aquarius, so that makes me think I might not even be human. I might be more a celestial like concept or something. But I mean,
I feel like you're gonna be celestial though in the next like you won't be. This might be your last ride in the human body. Is that the feel? Oh no. You think it might be your last incarnate ride? Oh no, my darlings.
I feel like incarnation. I'm, I know why this is happening, by the way,
Why?
because right. Well, I'm
Wait,
talking
why is this
about it.
happening?
I'm talking to the goddess of secrets, so you get the tea. So like my next incarnation, I'm gonna ascend back into who I always was. I actually got the I actually came into the knowledge of realizing that this form I'm in right now was really just to come down here undercover to experience what I know. So once I leave this, I'm gonna go back to my fixed state of knowing, and probably exist more as a universal concept.
Ooh. So will you be like just an energy that we can tune into? Will you be an angel? Like what's your feeling on that?
That's a great question. I think I'll return back to spirit form.
Okay.
But I also believe that you and I are very you and I and the generation we're a part of is very unique and incredible in that we our relationship with death is not going to be what it used to be. I honestly don't think we're gonna die. Like I think we're probably gonna keep our. It's still possible to die, but I think we're probably gonna keep our bodies or transform our bodies into, like have the ability to ascend into light and then come back. If there was like a new heaven or a new earth or whatnot. But yeah, definitely looking into that. It's a really good question because I feel like if you're Pluto Virgo, and beyond, your relationship with death is not what you think it is.
My
Even for
darling,
people
I'm like
past.
so lit. I'm so lit for this conversation. We only have a little bit while left, and I want to ask you right on that question there. The how concerned are you about like technology like stealing our mind space / like we're becoming so psychic and super powered? Like what is like the future of humanity? Like what do you see for us in terms of that? Like are we going to be melding technology? Is technology spiritual or not? Like what? I'm like I'm so lost with this question.
Anyone who has passed or anyone who dies, they're going to be resurrected. Like there is going to be a resurrection. But other than that, I see us reaching a peak. The Leo King said it very well. Like you can gauge the nature of civilization, spiritual growth by the level of technology they have. So the more spiritual they are, the better the technology. And
Wow.
we're right finally at the apex where technology are superpowers. And we're gonna like we may very well, and this is where the younger generation, like people born after the 2000s, could that
Like we will not let this live stream. It is too lit to fail. Too lit to fail. That's what we are. We're too lit to fail. Amazon Prime doesn't care about Instagram. But like, aren't they like, I have an Alexa, so I feel like they care about everything. I feel like they're watching everything I do. Like, they're just like cam porning like me, like just doing laundry. Like, that's what Amazon does. They love it.
they're
I know.
definitely watching you.
Like, let's leave the people now. The people of Peace Dealer, Chapel, Ministerial Peace Dealer, and all Brava babies who've just been introed, sharing one message of this moment, like this moment in the multiverse on how to be that fucking avatar that is like prime fucking ready to face the world. Like any message that you have on that.
Yeah, great question. Take it back to the basics. Start with Aries and affirm who you are.
I love you.
Popular to contrary belief, you don't have to know. You really don't have to know. You just have to start with affirming who you are, and then go to Taurus next. Ground your feet on the earth. Feel that fully, and then go to Gemini and start. Feel that, and Cancer, and meditate and feel that. This will now start to charge deeper insight that you can move forward with. And long story short,
what I heard clearly was start with that I am Aries, Taurus, feel it, activate it with Leo energy. There was Cancer, feel it, Taurus, ground it, Aries, I am that shit. And you don't have to fucking know. You just have to fucking go forward with what you got. Universe keeps us on a need to know basis. The Peace Dealer, you're frozen, but I love you. All of you join, and you should join Mike Peace Dealer. October 30th, we're doing an alter ego workshop where we're gonna actually create our own. I love you too, Peace Dealer. We're gonna have a workshop with me to create your alter egos and some practices to help you do that. And I'm gonna take those notes from you right now, Peace Dealer. Okay, my darlings, we are off, and let's go over to the DM. Send me a DM about why you think we froze.